So because I seem to be going through a current Spectrum obsession, I've been on eBay and bought yet another one. This time though, it's a Spectrum Plus, which I paid, I think £37 for, which works out about $46. Sellers described it as in good condition, keyboard not working, but does display to the screen. So I thought, why not? I don't have a Spectrum Plus, so now I do. Not sure I'm a fan of them, but I thought it'd be really good to give it a full overhaul. And by that, I mean, we're almost certainly going to need a new keyboard membrane, which we've got here. Got a new voltage regulator. Got a recap kit. And why not add Bluetooth? So let's crack on, let's see what we've got. So here it is unboxed. It does come with a power supply. Keys are a little bit yellow. Maybe think about giving them a clean, maybe seeing if they'll retro bright, but we'll leave that for today. Main thing is seeing if it works and doing a few mods to it. I think rubber feet are missing, but I can always sort out some replacements of those. So let's get it open. I've not opened one of these before, so just bear with. Right, let's see if I can flip this over. Right, I think that should be it. Right, okay. Right. First impressions then, yes. The keyboard wasn't even connected and there's various bits of it missing. So I think that's would probably explain that. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the membrane and then get it powered on. The seller says that it's working. So before I start messing about, let's replace the keyboard membrane and let's see if it is indeed a working Spectrum. Right, let's move that out of the way. Right, not heard some of these before, but I'm guessing it's just a case of removing these. Quite a few screws, but if you've ever worked on an Atari ST keyboard, this isn't many screws at all, so I'm not complaining. Right, that's the backing off. Right. Clean? I don't know, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Right, keyboard membrane. Right, let's remove the clamps. Right, that's one. Two. Right. So that's the old keyboard membrane out. This is a nice shiny new one. Do I need to do anything with this? Probably need to support it, don't I? Right. What can I support it with? Right. Let's use that on one side. Whoops. And a box on the other. Just so that it's not pushing the keys up. And this membrane can, this rubber mat can sit on top. Right, is that going to be okay? I think so. Right, long side on the left. Right, we do have guide holes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on first, I think. Just so that it can't wander around, because I really don't want that to move. Right. Let's do the little keyboard screws. That's one. Right, so that's all this backing plate screws in. Let's see if we can get the clamp in. Now I'm guessing with the clamp we just want to let it find its own natural length. So I'll just let the clamp pull it accordingly. So that's that one. Right, the other side. Yeah, I think if I just let the clamps move it to how they want it to be. How does that look? I'm not sure about that. Maybe I do need to pull it through a little bit. Let's undo it. Just take the angle off it a little bit. Let's see how that works. Yeah, I think that's better. What about this one? Should we do the same? Oops. I think we should be alright now laying it down anyway. Let's move those out of the way. I just don't want it to be under any strain unnecessarily. If you just bring that up a little bit and then take it down like that. Right. Yeah, I think that's better. What do you think? I think that's better. Right, the only other thing I can see there is This doesn't seem to be coming straight out at 90 degrees, so I'll just move that over a little bit. Just trying to minimize problems later. Right, yeah, I think we're good with that. Right, before we start doing anything with the motherboard, let's give the computer a test. Oops, let's get rid of these legs. Right, put those back in later. Right. In fact, I should have probably used some contact cleaner on these. But we'll give it a try in the first instance. Well, that one's a little bit stiff. It's going in. Just don't want to force it too much. I think that's good. Right, let's go plug it in. We'll stick the diagnostic card in it as well, I think. See what that reports back. Hopefully, bearing in mind that the seller said it does make a display, hopefully it will be good. Then we can just get on and start looking at the recap and whatnot. Right, let's just move some stuff out of the way. Right, let's move that over to the TV. Right, I've got it connected up to the TV. I've got the test card in. Let's just move it so you can see the display. And let's power it up. That's a good start. Should start by doing its memory test, yeah. Memory test okay. Right, let's test the keys. Yeah, all the keys work. Great. Right, let's get it up and back up again, and well, in fact, before we do that, can't stocking space. Let's just do some of the other test. Right, here we are back again. Gently disconnect those ribbon cables. Right, so it looks like the seller was quite genuine and accurate with the description. I think the first thing I want to do is get the motherboard out. On the rubber keys there's a screw there. Looks like we've got screws here instead. Can only see two. One here, one here. And of course, one thing that the rubber keyed one doesn't have is a reset switch, which that just comes out like that. Right. I think first thing I'm going to do is replace the voltage regulator, which you'll see me do in previous videos. It just means that we can get rid of this huge heatsink and hopefully give the machine a bit of a longer life by reducing the heat build-up inside it, which would be good. Is it not spinning behind? No, I think we're good. That's a nut off behind. That's that off. Just lever that up a little bit. Right. So that's that out of the way. Right, let's desolder this. I don't know if you can see this, but this is incredibly, if the cameras pick up, this is incredibly dusty. So we'll have to give the board a bit of a clean at some point. But yeah, I've never seen a Spectrum as dusty as that. Maybe it's a thing with the pluses. Don't know. Right, voltage regulator time. My soldering iron's heated up. Let's put some fresh solder on, and then we can hopefully get it off without too much pain and difficulty. The fresh solder should just help us remove the existing solder. I'm not too worried about being neat or anything here. And I might need to turn my soldering iron up a little bit at some point, just because it's wicking the heat away. We've got some fresh solder in there. I'm just going to tighten up my soldering iron because the tip's coming loose, which we don't want. Right. Let's see if my solder sucker's warmed up enough yet. I'm hoping it's all warmed up by now. There, that's looking a lot better, isn't it? That's looking a lot better. Let's see if it'll come with a little bit of gentle persuasion. Oh, that's still hot. That was really hot. Warning. Items you're soldering will get really hot. Just turn my soldering iron up slightly. I've gone from 340 to 370. This is the most troublesome one out of all I've done yet. I think it's just that last leg. But I'm going to try it from this side. There we go. It's not worth forcing it. And remember to turn your soldering iron back down, because trust me, it can be a disaster if you don't. So that's that out. No damage, which is good. Let's see if we can clean those holes up a little bit. How's that looking? Right, having taken a bit of a break from this, I think it's time to give the machine a little bit of a clean, the board, so I can get rid of some of this dust. We'll give the edge connector a bit of a clean as well. Let's get some nicer profile on it, I think. Rub. Just flip it over, clean where we've been working. It's looking good. Just get some cotton buds. Your goop coming off. It's looking a lot better. A few bits of crap stuck on it, but I don't think that's going to cause us any problems. Right, where's the new voltage regulator? Right, one new voltage regulator, if I can speak. So this wants to go, I've already done a few of these, it wants to go, it's a direct replacement, it just wants to go with the lettering to the outside on this particular model. I'm just going to see, that's just going to hold it there. I'll put one on. Put one on just to hold it, and then I can push it in a bit more. Put a bit too much on there, but we can remove a little bit. I think it'll be alright. Right, let's just check how it's sat on there. It's a bit squiffy. Right, there we go, that's nicely pushed up to the board now. We'll do the end one. There we go. Once again, I'll just give it a little nudge. Look at that, I'm not quite happy with that one. A little bit more solder, I think. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, what I'm going to do, just off camera, is just test it, just to make sure that that's working. If I'm not, I know there's a problem with something that I've done. Just tested that off camera, and it's absolutely fine. Tidy up some of my mess a little bit. And that should do. Give it a clean with some ice later. Right. So that's the board back. So I've done the voltage regulator up there. Now let's give some attention to these capacitors. So I've got a capacitor kit. Got this from Petroleum. Really good. Right, let's get the capacitors out. Let's start replacing them. As I'm sure you're aware, it's really important when replacing capacitors to make sure the orientation is correct on these. Axial capacitors are directionally sensitive. Right. I'll get my side cutters. What I'll always do is, this is how I do it. I'll cut one leg and then I'll just desolder. The leg's bent over. Should have checked that before. Straighten that leg. Oops, I'm trying to desolder the wrong thing there. Let's do the capacitor, shall we? Measure twice, cut once. So that's one done. Right, after much messing about off camera, I managed to get it on nice and secure. I just couldn't do it with without sticking my head completely into frame. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to stick it around here, like what I said. It's important, of course, that the bottom's insulated. I've got some double-sided tape on here because you don't want it to be potentially shorting out, but there isn't anything there that it could short out, so I'm just gonna stick it down there, and hopefully it will stay put. I took the wires down. Like I say, if I'm happy where it is, I've not done this on a Spectrum Plus before. If I'm happy where it is, I'll come back and shorten these wires down, and I'll also be back here anyway to get a heatsink put on here, which I think's well worth doing. So let's see if everything works. If it does, we should get a blue light on there, or a flashing blue light. Right. Are we on? Yes. So that flashing blue light indicates that, well, it's operational. Once it's connected up to something, it will go solid blue. I'm filming with my camera, with my phone, so I can't do the two things simultaneously. But trust me, if I go into Bluetooth on my phone, that will connect up and work. But if I did that now, I'd lose connection to my microphone. So apologies for that. Before I forget, I'm going to give this a quick squirt with some contact cleaner, because that will never do any harm. And I think we're about ready to start putting it back together. Right, I've given the bottom half of the case a quick clean out inside, because it really was full of dust. Whoops. We'll use the Spectrum Plus. Let's have the reset switch in the way. Right, I think that just clips over there, doesn't it? Yeah, that just sits in there. Then we've got a couple of screws for the motherboard. I'll do my screwdriver. There it is. This one. I suppose looking at it, just as I'm thinking as I'm going along, the Bluetooth module, I could potentially just stick it out of the way here or here. I'd have to extend the signal wire, but I think I might do that. But let's get it all back together first, see how it's doing. Right, so that's that. Let's put the legs in. Press down and click. Yeah. That one doesn't click. Okay. So that's that. tensioner things on top. So that's that. Right, have I forgotten anything? I don't think so. Right, this should just slot back in. As always, be extra careful with the ribbon cables. That should just go on top. I'll put the screws in a second. I'm just wondering, I've not cleaned the keyboard yet. We'll have to give that a bit of a clean, won't we? But let's give it a try first. I think we had 7 screws. Right, moment of truth then. Let's put the telly on. It worked before. So in theory, it should work now. Yes. Right, let's let it do its tests. So here she is, all finished, having given her a bit of a clean with some isopropyl alcohol. It may benefit at some point giving the keys a go at retro brighting, but I'm quite happy. They certainly don't look ugly, and for £37, I think I've done quite well there. Just for comparison, I thought it'd be fun just to put my original Spectrum. This was mine from back in the day. I've done all the internal work on it, and I won't digress on this machine, but I like the way that it's aged. This thing, I'm not sure I can get used to the keys for a Spectrum. The dead flesh keys of the original Spectrum is just what I grew up with. It's horses for courses though. I'm really glad I've got this one though. I do like it. Substantially bigger, isn't it, than the original one? Substantially bigger. I'm still probably going to keep this one as my daily driver, as it were. But I need to push myself and use this and see if I can get my head around it, really. Because I do like the look of it. It's definitely different, but it does look really good. I do like it, and I'm glad I've got it. So let's wrap this video up then. The Spectrum cost me £37 plus postage. I then had to buy a keybrain membrane, which I think was 18, so that's 37, 47, 53. The recap kit, about £8, so that's 61. And then I think about £4 for the Bluetooth module. So what's that, 65? Plus the voltage regulator, another £6. What we've got to 71. Is it worth it? Well, I think so. You may disagree. But sometimes it's not just about the value of something or the cost, it's about what it's worth to you. And I'm really glad that I've got Spectrum Plus. But more importantly, my videos, I want them to be about encouraging you to have a go, to go out there, get yourself a machine and have a mess around with it. Hopefully there won't be too much wrong with it, but to give you the enthusiasm to have a go, pick up the soldering iron and see how you get on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But in the meantime, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe if you've got this far, if you'd like to see more of the stuff that I do. But that's it for now. I wish you well, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.